have achieved. As such, aspirants have used a variety of techniques in sustaining relevance, rivalry being the most commonly used among the biggest achievers. But as suggested, not all longevity achievers have used dancehall warfare to sustain relevance. Agent Sasco, for example, though not considered among the kingpins, has been the most consistent toaster in dancehall in the last 10 years. And by choice, was never embroiled in any pasa-pasa. The agent, aka Assassin, talks how he feels right now on stage. Sasco, bless you. Bless up, welcome, welcome. Talk how he feels in the title of a new video, right? A new song. What exactly are you talking about here?
Well, you know, just address some issues, you know, some personal, some general, some societal, but we just attack how we feel on a number of issues. And that's how we start off 2011. You know, last year, after the music take the hip-hop turn, and, you know, I had a injury, you know, I broke my foot last year, and you know, in that time I took up the guitar and I learned, and then 2 toes me, so I lose it, like me, so I'm mad and anything that, so man see me, I walk up and down, you know it. So,
okay.
So, you know, I guess some start off the year with some therapy, you just talk how you feel, you know.
Hey, so you're venting then?
There you go.
Because you have some issues.
Yeah, man, I will leave.
All right, let's give of yours the song right now.
Recently, artist Assassin, aka Agent Sasco, has been making speeches right across the island, and right now he's coming out to speak with us.
Yeah, man, a prop, not intro. But I'll talk my mind for now. Well, hear me now, we just talk how we feel. No man no feel we are not spiking, and on the belly skin a bleach, no face and do no skin feel. Stop to win a back and all them things they are reveal. Come up for them and fish, we know the kill. Me just talk how we feel. We rather fi no eat another meal. Before me tell me so forget no deal. No boy could have promised me $1,500 bill or $1 billion US we take a feel. Me just talk how we feel. We wish the father bust the 7 steel and drop a ton the bar for every single breaking and no real. About a lightning for the war we kill the friend and deal. You want to make the road well like a wheel. Me just talk how we feel. Some of them in a man stand from the hill. Them think up on the rock, but up and stand them a bill. Cause the judgment I go up to every dollar on the steel. And if we get to use we own the kill. Me just talk how we feel. The boy the boy up and people grill. And rape people pick me you know great amount of meal. I can't say you a buzz it up like Navy SEAL. But I innocent God to do what feel. Me just talk how we feel. Me love the gal and me the sex appeal. Yes a little Lally mix with Jessica Biel. Me can't tell the one them with the stinking wheel. Where you walk with the cracky heel. Me just talk how we feel. We pull up with crop on the wheel. Man I'm all like we born Argentina or Brazil. 5-star restaurant, steak and veal. But we don't forget to get a steak and sun can heal. You know we feel like a right so that you have to wheel. Oh yeah, they feel them scared. Well, I'm not say nothing at all them can do it. Hear me no nothing at all them can do it. Yo, Frisco, nothing at all them can do it. We hate them lock off when evil talk to him. Genius. Not a rifle, no shotgun, no one pop. Not a high, not a border, no hand clap. About one stop a try make me van stop. I said them want set me up, them set the wrong trap. Put up your one, then if you know say the song trap. They make your finger like a gun and mouth a one shot. No papa your shot a wait for see man drop. Them series a bulletproof vest, but it's a tank top. Nothing at all them can do it. My sister, nothing at all them can do it. Your dick shame, nothing at all them can do it. We hate them lock out when evil talk to it. Hey, who knows, nothing at all them can do it. Elias, nothing at all them can do it. Yeah, Chino, nothing at all them can do it. We hate them lock out when evil talk to it. I man say nothing, can't touch a button. Evil drop down anytime the Bible open. Oh, me say nothing, can't do me nothing. We now be no lamb to no slaughter, be no button. Oh, not a thing, oh, not a thing. No, we no matter about no word, them a fling. Me say no, not a thing, hey, not a thing. No, not a knife, not a sword, not a pin, nothing, nothing. Nothing at all them can do it. Oh, me say nothing at all them can do it. Yeah, Nick says nothing at all them can do it. We hate them lock off and evil talk to it. Tell them nothing at all them can do it. Oh, me say nothing at all them can do it. Yeah.
All right, and you're watching. And by the way, that was a world premiere, and it's not just how him feel. Not all them can do it. He's also saying Agent Sasco. So it sounds like you're revitalized, re-energized for 2011. Is that the case? New energy, new thrust?
For more reasons than one, you know. Outside of the fact that, you know, not much, in my view, is happening in the music, and as we talked about earlier on, so-called the kingpin status that has been reserved for, let's say, a good dozen of our artists. You find that most of the kingpins doing what, 2 decades now, and a time coming we need to change over. Now I'm doing a decade in this music, and I'm still away before 30. And I have earned my stripes in terms of on all levels of this music. When it comes on to recording and songwriting, the viewers know. If you put the names them up, we're going to talk about what really should count in music, songwriting. And then, you know, starting off in my career, performance, a live performance wasn't necessarily my strong suit, but to work on that over the course of the decade. And right now, when you look around and check the new crop of people from, you know, the 2000 and beyond, who can represent themselves on a stage like I can. Now, these are the things that we're going to use and run the place, not gimmicks, not busload of people with spray can in a venue, not buying a chart, not bleach out. We're going to run the place with song performance, songwriting, how it's supposed to be done.
But you are a unique achiever. Because as we have said, nobody else has been more consistent.
There you go.
You are quietly being there, maintaining a relevance for over 10 years. That's I don't know that there's any other dancehall artist who has achieved that.
Well, every single year you did this.
You're there, even though you have not stepped up into that upper tier of dancehall.
And that has to be, what you call it now, my new challenge, because one aspect of longevity and consistency is challenging yourself at all times and not being relaxed in any stage. You know, so I always challenge myself. I'm always a student of this music.
So you're still aspiring, even though you have achieved so much.
Yes.
To step up there.
No, and further and beyond and beyond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I take the tour of the Bob Marley Museum last year. Me and Bordos, the whole family go through and really, you know, see what that was about. You know, we see Bob Marley and people fly all over the world and come here for this Bob Marley whatever experience. And we let me drive past the museum much time because Papi in my grow up and never go over there. When you go over there and do that tour and you realize that a man come from the Little Rock writer, so represent the music on such a great level, how dare you not aspire to that? When a man make 150,000 people come stand up in Italy, enough man who say them around place don't make 1,500.
All right, I see what you mean now. So when you say stepping up into that upper chamber, and I'm talking now specifically about dancehall and as opposed to reggae and roots and lovers rock.
We so versatile, so we're not limit yourself.
Right. So, but a very, very few people who have maintained such a long relevance up there, and those people have used mostly used rivalry, controversy, and all kinds of other things to stay there. The question is, do you really want it? Do you? I mean, it sounds to me that you're doing really well, without it.
You know, guess what? As I said, it's not just about my own program, and the truth of the matter is, it is not either or either.
Yeah.
The thing is, what I've been consistent with is my talent, and as I said, I challenge myself. So one of the time I wasn't the best performer, but I work on that. I would challenge myself. So therefore, if you're using gimmicks and rivalry and this and that, those are the things that you will rely on to sustain you. So you have to always pick a war somewhere, or you have to always try to find the next gimmick. No, if your songwriting is of a certain standard, and people appreciate it for that, and if your talent is sincere, then unless you lose it one morning and you wake up, you should be able to consistently do what you do. And also appreciate times when there is the downswing. You have to step back some of the time, naturally. Last year I withdraw myself because I never did I go be a next rapper. Too much hip-hop going in the dancehall, and I decided I'm not going to do none, so here what. When I start make dancehall again, here I am, I don't know if you find me. But you know, we know where I stand up for. We're not going to just leg ourselves like a feather in the breeze. No. You know, I have represented this music all over the world on a certain level, and I will continue to do so. But I not when I look back at my career and say, well, me just always there in the park. Around the place we said, they want me. I could have asked.
All right, the most consistent member of that elite group, in my view, the most timeless is Buju Banton.
Naturally.
And he's your biggest...
we grew up, I would have said we go through the same system, heritage, Penthouse Records. And I can't discount that. And even being on the road with Buju, I learn a whole heap too. And it is good when you can see what the real picture is and what the goals are. You know, because sometimes we get caught up in the noise in the market in Kingston, and then you forget that the world is there and the world operating off different standards some of the time. You know, so when you can bring 14 people on the road and tour the USA for 9 weeks, not 2 weeks and do New York and 2 places and come back and say your tour. I talk about 9 weeks, Minneapolis, you're going out in Aspen, you're going in Utah,
Midwest,
all, you know what I mean? So you get a chance of measure, and that is what I'm talking about when we go up to the Bob Marley Museum and see that there's measure. So yes, I have done well in terms of, you know, being in the dancehall arena. I'm certainly proud of what I've done, and you know, we're not going to discount that and go on like say we're ungrateful. But
you're hungry for more.
We're going for it, man. All you talk to for it's not for me neither. I don't talk from a individualistic, selfish perspective. The music no need it, man. Come on, who's going to represent this music for the next 2 decades as top strata people? Who's going to do it?
And you're not jumping on hip hop. You're one of the no hip hop.
It's not necessarily no hip hop, because on in the year by all stretch it have the hip hop snare in there. Put you on in the year, it have it then same thing again also. But hear me now, dancehall must be the mainstay. Anytime it start, the ratio start get upside down now, where you do 10 songs and 8 of them have the big old hip hop snare. Oh, and most troubling, when a man dip on the radio and say, oh, we're going to give you some dancehall music, and when you hear everything drop with the hip hop snare, you find, say, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, we're not going to recognize yourself. And dancehall going to be a new hip-hop hybrid, and all of the sweat and tears of the people who make this music what it is and make me can come do something for 10 years and send my daughter to school would be gone and all wasted, and I'm not going to be a part of that mission for destroy this music. So dancehall again, we say.
Speaking of school, where's school now? You finished this year?
No, I'm not done, but guess what? Being consistent with a career like I've been able to do, and balancing school and then, you know, of course, our family life, it is a lot, and we you know, we manage the time or whatever. So greatest thing is my grades are good and we're still on course. So, you know, I have an exam to do in the middle of summer when it's high time again, but so I have to find time to prepare for the show them exam, but we'll get it done, and that's the greatest thing. And I've been able to apply principles that I've gathered in that study, you know, to the mission, and you know, it's all good.
Summer, you said you spoke about summer just a while ago. In comparison to say last year, how would you compare this one in terms of booking and dates? And
wow, all right. First of all, we start the first quarter like, wow, man, the first quarter, I mean, we have talk over field, we have run the place, not only the song but the rhythm, that's Bodo's production, you know, the Bounty Killa.
Let the Rumblood, give me back the energy, 51 bean, never call me name again,
Hey, Rumblood, give me back the energy, yeah?
Can you produce it too, right?
Yes, and
you produce, that's your rhythm?
My rhythm, you know, with songwriter too, you know, we have a whole
you throw Killa on it, and
Elephant.
Killa is running away on that rhythm, man.
Oh, yeah, talk so, man. Right away, so Godfather, big up. And, you know, we have other projects as well, you know, we have young artists who are working with. So, you know, we're doing a lot. It's not just, I'm going to say, you know, stepping forward to try to come scrape or something. You know, we have to represent this music and we have to contribute in a substantial way. But as I said, go back to the comparison last year to now. It's like night and day, and last year by no stretch was a pedestrian effort, you know. We had an excellent Sumfest last year, but shortly after I broke my foot, and then, you know, it kind of slowed me up a little bit. But, you know, it's all in good time, and the Almighty will say. So right now, summer book out, we have best of the best, you know. Well, immediately we have what them call it now, Curry Festival coming up. We have a stint working on for Japan, a tour in Japan and a tour in Europe as well, because we're working on an album. To be released this year. So a lot is happening, and you know, we're ready to step forward and do it on a different level now, because I've earned my stripes, as I said, and it's not for me to say it, but the massive know say it's true. See it? So run the place, we said.
Run the place. Well, there you have it. The agent's mission continues. I'm Winford Williams on behalf of all of us, thanking you for joining us. Do join us again next week for more On Stage.